Blessings everyone, I'm Michelle C. and Augustine, and today I am here to tell you all about the top 7 mistakes that are causing students to fail and avoiding steps 6 and 7 allow me to graduate with distinctions. So you all want to grab a pen and a book, or possibly if you have a writing tablet, if you're going to take notes on your phone or your laptop or on a software like Document, Word, or Notes, you want to make sure and take all that right now so that you will be able to document this. Mistake number 1, you dislike the subject or feel that you are studying it. When you don't like something, you will lack motivation, which means lack is like saying there's an absence, right? There's no motivation or low motivation. And motivation is like reason, that drive, that push. So when you dislike a subject or you dislike a field of study, you are not going to be concerned or interested in studying this particular subject or field. And this would lead to you not having reasons to want to study or reasons that will encourage you or push you to want to study in this field or continue studying this subject in order for you to excel in that field. What do I mean? Well, take mathematics for example. A lot of persons and students are familiar with mathematics, and a number of them dread that subject or dislike the subject. Now, there was something I learned today about that. I'll tell you all that in another video. But as based on this particular one, right? When you don't have that passion, that drive, that reason, that push, that desire to study something, that is definitely one of the reasons that would cause you to fail because you are not putting in the work, right? Of course, it is always best to choose a field of study and or subject that you know that you are passionate about. It could be linked to a talent, it could be linked to one of your gifts, it could be linked to a hobby, but you want to make sure that you choose a field of study that you are going to enjoy. And even on days or any time of the night, you would feel like doing this thing, right? Now, one thing to keep in mind though, even though you would choose your field of study, there is always a saying, I've heard this from some of the big guys, right? That because of what field you choose, or if you are actually passionate about it, you may encounter some subjects in that field that you don't like still. So you want to make sure and focus on the ones that you like and avoid stressing over the ones that you don't like, right? But the more you have that passion or drive or motivation or desire to work in a particular field, the majority of the areas of study that you have to go through should be something that you enjoy, or learn to find the areas in which you enjoy your field of study, right? Mistake number 2, you are not setting clear goals. Now, you might say, what is clear goals? What is this about? When your goals are unclear, meaning you don't know exactly what you want, you will not know exactly what to work towards. And you will find yourself doing work, assignments, tasks, and not accomplishing an exact goal or something that you really want to accomplish. Now, some people think that because they have a goal in their head, it's clear. No, it's always good to write down your goals. So not having a goal or a clear goal is like going for a drive with your parents without a destination in mind. So you're not saying you're going town or you're going in the city or you're going to a specific mall. You're just going out with your parents and you have no destination or no goal or no main aim for going on this drive. You know what will happen? You may find yourself going in circles and circles and not ending up anywhere desirable or somewhere that you want to end up. So that is why when you are studying, it's good to put specific figures, measurable figures to what you want to accomplish, how much of something you want to accomplish. Be clear on your goals. When you are clear on your goals, it helps you to focus and on the right path and to stay on that path. In addition, it's like a direction. It's like saying if you want to go somewhere, the goal is like that destination. And then you have to figure out the steps that are necessary to help you get to that goal, which stands as a destination. Mistake number three, you don't know or remember your whys. What are your whys? Your whys are the reasons with regards to your study or your area of study or your field of study. Whys are the reasons of why am I doing this? What is the purpose of this? Like what bigger goal is this going to help me to accomplish in the future? So once you're not clear on your whys, what happens is it helps you, it causes you rather to be disconnected, or say you may discontinue your studies because you don't know exactly why you're doing it. Some people do things because other people are doing it. Some people do it because they it looks glamorous and the benefits looks good, but they themselves don't like this, and it goes back to the first reason, that passion is not there. So you would be demotivated because you're not enjoying the level of work that comes with working or accomplishing this particular career. Mistake, or let's say studying towards getting that working at that particular career. So you need to know why are you doing this. If your whys are things like, oh, I'm doing it because my friend, or I'm doing it because I saw it on TikTok or on Instagram or some social media platform and people are making money and your aim is just money. If your aim is just money, you may not stay in a job long term. And if you do, after you have completed your studies, you would be unhappy. And you don't want to be unhappy because unhappiness will lead to stress and unnecessary pressure on your heart, right? And you want to live long. All right. So it's important to make sure you have strong, compelling whys. Whys that will make you happy and that you will be fulfilled when you accomplish your academic goals. Or let's say mistake number four, you are not working with the given deadlines. So, as learners, you are given deadlines in your schools, in your classes, and you have deadlines for homework, you have deadlines for other assignments, and you even would have examination dates, various types, midterm or mid semester or end of term or finals. You might have mock exams, depending on what level you're at, right? So when you don't complete your work on or before deadline, it shows that you have not prioritized your time. What that means, prioritize. Prioritizing is when you set all your tasks, right? Not just your schoolwork, but everything you have to do. You list them out and then you choose which one is most important to the least important. And then you would allocate or assign time to each one based on the number of hours they are in a week. Do you know in a week there are 168 hours? So where are you spending all that amount of hours each week, right? So when you don't prioritize, you can end up missing deadlines. And because my friend or doing it because I saw it on TikTok or on Instagram or some social media platform and people are making money and your aim is just money. If your aim is just money, you may not stay in a job long term. And if you do, after you have completed your studies, you would be unhappy. And you don't want to be unhappy because unhappiness will lead to stress and unnecessary pressure on your heart, right? And you want to live long. All right. So it's important to make sure you have strong, compelling whys. Whys that will make you happy and that you will be fulfilled when you accomplish your academic goals. Because my friend, Mistake number five, you are inconsistent with your schedule. Schedule is just another way of saying planning your activities. Now, some of us may know it as time management, but eventually, regardless of what we do in life, time continues to do its thing, continues to go. We cannot stop time. What we could do is to work with the time that we have on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis and prioritize and schedule our activities based on their order of importance or priority. So when you do not schedule your days, your weeks, your months continuously or consistently all the time as much as possible as you can, it will cause you to lose track of important days, important assignments, important tasks that you supposed to complete, right? And this will lead to you further procrastinating. You might even be confused as into what deadline you have to meet tomorrow, right? You might not know because things are all over the place, and you might end up having five deadlines, and then that could send up your blood pressure. And you don't want that to be happening to you. So it is definitely important to have a schedule. You don't want to be sometime-ish. You want to be as consistent as possible to keep on top. Have a monthly, a weekly, a daily, or a daily and a monthly, or a weekly and a monthly. Now, I will take a plug to indicate that I do will be having a challenge with regards to um, helping students previously to the as the workshop I had, but it's going to be a challenge this time where students from Beyond of Succeeders Academy, my academy, and others who would like to join, I would um practically challenge you all, show you what it takes and what you all should be doing to get the most out of your day, your week, your month, to help you all improve your grades, to prioritize, to schedule, to plan, to get more study time in, and for you to be able to have a balance in your life and make the best out of your days, right? And you can even continue using the schedule as you go out into the workplace, because this was something that through me seeking the Lord Jesus Christ, um, through me also following God's lead, I was able to learn and research and put together a schedule that works for me. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to work for everybody, but you may be able to take some parts from it, or a lot from it, or a few from it that will benefit you and help you to, let's say, see better results in your academics, right? The thing is, you don't want to just come or attend the challenge. You want to make sure and also you want to make sure and also do whatever is required of you in order for you to see that results. Mistake number six, and this particular mistake ties into some of the things that I said in the previous mistake, and it is specifically you are not managing your activities or your time. So scheduling is a big part of managing your activities or your time. So when you don't manage your time, which means you are not measuring where your time is going, therefore there are time or hours that are being wasted unawares that you're unaware to, you end up not setting aside or allocating enough study time, enough time for assignments, enough time for preparing for exams, and then it's either you do things last minute and you don't get the amount of time needed to help you process, understand, apply the information, so you are unprepared in the exam, which leads to failure. So once you prioritize your activities, you plan your activities, you give them enough time each week, you will be able to see better results. In fact, I want to just plug in my story, miss a little bit here. When I was like in primary school, I never used to like to study. I dislike studying. And as a result, guess what? I used to fail. And that's the same thing I'm trying to say. If you don't study, you're gonna end up failing, right? Or if you don't study enough, you might get borderline pass, or you might just end up failing. And this is just the reality. And I used to fail, fail, fail. Eventually, my grandmother prayed for me. God helped me to kind of change my attitude. She hired her son, one of my uncles, to teach me and my sister. And then there was that improvement. It was maths because he is or was a maths teacher. And my maths grade would have keep increasing and I would have been putting in a little bit of work, right? I wasn't putting it all the amount of work. So my grade was gradually increasing. I went from a total failure of F to when I reached in standard five to what was it? Was that B? Right? And I got an award for the most improved student. Then when I moved on to secondary school, my maths grade keep improving until I started to get 100. That's 100 maths. And other subjects I was doing pretty fine. And it went to the point till I reached first place in class when I was in Form 4, I believe, a little bit here. Last term in Form 4, the first term in Form 5, I was first in class, and first time in my life. And then when I graduated, I wrote the CSEC examination and graduated. I will have gotten two distinctions, one in mathematics, one in principles of accounts, because my uncle taught me those two, and the others I passed them. But the others I had to put in my own studies. But I thought to myself, if I had a lessons teacher, I would have definitely, who knew what they're doing in all my subjects, I would have gotten all distinctions. Because I don't know if now's the right time to say this, but the school system, the educational school system is a mess. And sometimes parents think that their children are being taught everything that they need to know about their studies, but it's not being so. So when they go into the exams, they're unprepared or not prepared enough. And then worse than the students are not even putting in the work. All right. So that was one part of my success. And then I did A levels, and that's another story by itself. Right? But fast forward to when I went into college is where I eventually realized I was 23 when I started college a couple of years back. And I realized that I had to become self dependent or in the sense of independent in my studies. I still been form for the first, so I cannot depend on others to keep pushing me to study. When I was younger, that was the case. I had to depend on my uncle, I had to depend on my mother and my father, my grandmother tell me study your work, study your work, study your work. But when I was in my early 20s, I started my college education. I knew what goal I wanted. And that's why I was talking about goals before. I knew what goal I wanted. I was clear on the goal. I was like, I want to graduate with honors. Honors is distinctions, right? And I knew which distinction I wanted. As time went along, different things happened. I made adjustments. I kind of changed around, but I still was like, I need honors regardless, right? And I, praise the God, I made adjustments. I started scheduling, I started planning, I started to take my activities serious. I started to do all kind of different things. I was able to accomplish more plus graduate with distinctions while running a business. So when I tell you all, and this is something I recently some of the things I recently did a workshop with my students from Beyond Succeeders Academy and taught them how um to prioritize schedule to get the most out of your day, your week, the month in order to get that pass grade or goal that they themselves desire. So mistake number 7, the final one for this video. So you are not using an effective schedule. You're probably saying schedule. What's all the schedule thing about? Scheduling is about planning, right? When you don't plan or use an effective schedule, there are multiple planners out there, but I had a planner I would have gotten a couple of years back. I didn't even use that. I practically put together my own planner, and I have been using that, and it works for me. And that's practically part of what I would have been showing my students how to plan and practically get better results. But the main thing I'm trying to say here is that this happens like when it is you don't use an effective schedule that have the necessary details to help you properly organize, properly plan, have proper deadlines, and all that find information that will help you to reduce your procrastination. Then you end up procrastinating more. You'll end up missing activities. You end up forgetting stuff. And it is definitely great to have a planner that entails all the important things in one place. Mistake, right? So this particular program, or I even wrote about it in an ebook. My ebook is called Five Essential Steps to Academic Success. There was a slight change. It was sustainable before, but now academic. And I would have shared some of the things, steps I took in order um for me to go from what was I trying to say? For me to go from not wanting to study to studying to becoming independent into my studying to becoming someone who ambitious, determined, willpower. With of course I know a lot of it is God's help because I rely on the Lord Jesus Christ through prayer to help me, right? So it is important to manage your activities. When you manage your activities and you allocate and share enough time to your assignments, your exams, your any deadlines in terms of school related, and if you are not just a full-time student and you do other things on the side, you will realize how much time you have during the week and you could do so much more things. Like if I was to go into that story now, I'll be talking all over the place, but I got to go to the next mistake, the final mistake for this particular video, right? For me, on the other hand, I personally like my um if I'm doing one for me, I like the monthly planner on a bigger, like Bristol board, something that I can see that's big. Everybody will have a different preference. So it's up to you to, you can try out planners and see which one works for you, right? But it's important to have a planner that's effective, that will help you reduce procrastination, that will help you to measure all your time, measure how much tasks you are completing, and help you to accomplish your goals. Because if you don't use a planner that is tailored to effectively help you um accomplish your goals, like some students I have spoken with before, they tell me, yes, I schedule them. I was like, is it an effective schedule? There are certain things, there are certain important things that must be in a schedule to make it effective or make it, you know what effective means in the first place? It means successful. To make you plan successfully so that you could become successful. So when you don't have a schedule that is effective, that could help or contribute to you not let's say completing your activities, completing your assignments, doing everything that is necessary to you. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to work for everybody, but you may be able to take some parts from it, or a lot from it, or a few from it that will benefit you and help you to let's say see better results in your academics, right? The thing is, you don't want to just come or attend the challenge. You want to make sure and also you want to make sure and also do whatever is required of you in order for you to see that results. Now, I'm not